Hi, welcome to Blindside Movie Reviews. Noel T. Manning II here, hanging out with Jay Forey. Jay is the original blind movie critic, and we talk movies each week right here on Gardner Webb, University Radio, WGWG Online, WGWG.org, Jay's website, blindsidereviews.com. And today, Jay, we're looking back at the best of the year. And before we dive into the best of the year, we're talking about some of our best musicals, action, comedy, drama, animated, sci-fi. I've got to say, my best character of the year is the blind, force-wielding monk from the new Star Wars film, Rogue One. The dude was awesome. As I'm watching him do his flips and take out a whole squadron of stormtroopers, I'm like, that's Jay. Jay Forey could do that. Jay could do that. So, got to say, my best blind character of the year goes to the force-wielding monk in Rogue One.
Well, that's okay. Well, good. That's a lot better than what back when was it Shrek or whatever had the three blind mice. That was yeah. Your favorite then. So
That's
I don't know
exactly
if I'm going to take this as a compliment or not.
Yeah,
here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He's actually probably one of my favorite characters of the year. He's pretty awesome. So gotta say that. Well, Jay, good to talk to you as always. We've got another year where we're wrapping up here and looking at some of the best films. We talked Critics' Choice Awards a few weeks ago, which was some of the best that voted on by the Critics' Choice. But these are some of our favorites as it relates to different film genres. First one we're going to talk. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was going to say, and honestly, I love doing this. When we do these by genre, this is why I like it. These may not be always going to be award winners, but it's what we like,
Yep.
what we think's the best, and a lot of times what the people out there think's the best.
Yep.
And that's why I like doing it like this by genre.
Yeah, I do too. Well, let's dive in and talk musical first. There were a few musicals that were released this year, but one I think that stood out above the rest, especially from a critic's standpoint here at the end of the year, got 8 Critics' Choice Awards. We're talking about, what's that movie?
Yeah, La Land. No, I don't. I'm not stuttering. That's actually the name.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. It was so well done on so many different levels, Jay. A story of a budding actress, somebody who wants to break into the world of film and TV, and then she falls in love with this guy who wants to be this great jazz pianist and open up his own club. And some great talent in this film across the board. La La Land, my favorite, and yours for musical of the year. Anything else you want to add about that?
Yeah, and we've already talked about it 3 times, 2 or 3 times. Once in the Critics' Choice, we did a review, and my favorite, and you've heard me say it every time, I like it because there's a lot of dialogue, but that I can follow the story, but also some great dancing and singing and everything else.
Absolutely. Best action film, Jay. Yours is a film that's a bit of a comedy, a bit of a supervillain, a little mixture of both, and Ryan Reynolds, my wife's favorite actor, especially when he doesn't wear a shirt, is what she says.
That sounds like my wife with Chris. My wife with Chris Hemsworth says, "I'm going. Is he really that great of an actor? Well, he don't need to be." So anyway, and another superhero, Thor. There. No, yeah, this is my favorite. This has everything like you mentioned.
What's the name of the movie?
Oh, the name Deadpool. Yes.
Yep.
Deadpool is mine. Yeah, it's I really. Enjoy with humor. It has everything in it. And I've talked to people, and we talked about this before, that liked it, not just critics. It was nominated for a couple Critics' Choice Awards, and it's just a great film all the way around.
Yeah.
It's something so different, and we need something different. There's so many superhero films out here. Here we have something different. Tons of action in this film.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jay, now this is where you're going to be surprised. I've got a tie for my favorite action film, and I tried to narrow it down, and I couldn't. I've actually got a tie with 3 films, which I've never done before, but all 3 of these were based on true stories, so I guess I could look at these as biopics as well. Hacksaw Ridge, Deepwater Horizon, and Patriots Day. All 3 of those are my favorites in the action category. And since I didn't have to actually cast a vote, I just had to tell you.
All right.
I'm going to put all 3 of those in there. Well worth seeing. They're drama, but man, there's a heck of a lot of action in all three of those movies.
Yeah, no, I really like Deepwater Horizon. One of those films. No award winner, I don't think, but just a fun action film. The other two that you mentioned, they're more in the award-winning category, so maybe that's why I left them out. So I was looking more what the average person would like.
Okay, hey, dude, I'm average. What do you mean, average person? I'm an average person.
We won't go there.
All right, buddy. Best comedy of the year, Jay.
I picked one, and I know what yours is, and that was probably right up there. But just a month ago, I saw a film called Almost Christmas with Danny Glover, and it was a funny. And now it's not funny like some, but it was a comedy, and it had some great drama in it, I guess you want to call that. And called Almost Christmas. It had Danny Glover as Monique, which is funny as anything. It's a great Christmas, and I'm still recommending people out there to see it.
Good deal. Yeah, my favorite comedy is Central Intelligence. It came out back in the summer, and Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, together, just visually together, is funny to see. But then actually seeing them interact on screen, absolutely love this. My family and I went to see this, and we loved every aspect of this movie. And so there are even catchphrases that come out of that film that we still talk about. So every once in a while, my daughter will come up and say, I love corns. And she's talking about unicorns because that was one of Dwayne Johnson was talking about that. So Central Intelligence, my favorite comedy of the year.
And I was going to say, if we were talking about ties, that would be my tie. That was my favorite comedy to that. And because you're right, they're visually looking at them. Kevin Hart is so little, and Dwayne Johnson's so big, so that in itself would be a great visual, just pictures.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go from comedy to drama. Your favorite drama of the year?
It's Sully. I mean, you heard me talk about it all the time. I thought Tom Hanks should have won best actor, but the film itself just so good. It's not all about a plane that's gonna down in the river.
Right.
It's more about what happens afterwards. Yeah. I really enjoyed Sully.
Yes, Sully was a great film, but mine goes to a film that was partially subtitled and actually a foreign language film. The movie was Lion, based on a true story of a 5-year-old kid that gets separated from his family somewhere in India and has no idea where his family is, or even the name of his town. Years later, he tries to reconnect and finds a way using Google Earth to track down where he used to live, and finding his family is all what it's about. And Nicole Kidman stars in this. But Lion is absolutely fascinating film. And actually, Jay, when I'm looking at the best actors category for me, we're not going to talk about that today in detail, but my best actors were both kids this year. One from A Monster Calls, and then the young kid from Lion. Absolutely stunning actors, both of those performances.
Right. Yep, I agree.
Best animated film of the year, Jay?
I'll say it's a Moana, which I like to call it Mona, but like my talking computer calls it. Moana, fantastic. We talked about Dwayne Johnson here. He's in The Voice again. Trust me, and you've heard me. We've been hearing about the song from this, just like Frozen. We're going to be hearing about this for the next year. Moana, best animated film.
My best animated film goes to Zootopia, a film that was released earlier in the year. And a film that speaks on a lot of topics, society-related topics that are pretty fascinating, and they're able to do it through animation. Zootopia, my favorite animated film of the year. Best sci-fi of the year, talk about being able to address subjects that sometimes might not work in other areas. Sci-fi has always been able to address really unique subjects. And let's talk about your favorite sci-fi of the year.
And before I even say this, I'm a big Star Trek fan, which came out this year. I really enjoyed Star Wars, great. But the thing is, they've been done so many times. I want to see something new. Arrival was absolutely great, something so new. Had Amy Adams, I thought was fantastic. Should win some awards. She was nominated. Arrival this is a film you got to see if you like science fiction.
Oh yeah, I loved Arrival. It was an alien visitation film, and we talk about alien invasion. They didn't invade; they just happened to to come to Earth and kind of hover. And the real question was, okay, why are they here and what do they want? And the whole movie tried to answer that question, and it was really, really original and unique. I'm right with you. Arrival on my list for best sci-fi of the year. Best superhero film of the year. We've already talked about Deadpool as being a superhero type film, but it was a comedy, it was action, had a little bit of everything. And your favorite was a character that's been around for a long time, but not one that gets a whole lot of prestige.
Right. Doctor Strange, he, once again, that just came out, a month or so ago. Once again, I like something kind of unique here, just like a blind Star Wars Jedi. But this is a magician, and I like here it's something totally different in the superhero realm. Not totally different, but quite different. He's more a magician than a superhero, and I really like this film. Benedict Cumberbatch is really what makes this film, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's great. He really is great. My favorite does go back to earlier this year, Captain America: Civil War. We've seen Captain America on film and Iron Man on film, all of these for quite a few years now. But we are really starting to wrap this up, and you're starting to see the new Marvel Universe start to take hold. And you saw that in this film. This was really, I call this Avengers 2.5. Is what this film was. But it really took on, talking about taking on topics, it took on some really interesting topics. And that's what good superhero films can do, is they can address things that, in a different way. We talked about that with sci-fi earlier, talked about that in animation, and we're seeing more and more of that. So Captain America: Civil War, my favorite superhero film of the year. And Jay,
and I want to mention two quick things about that. One, that almost feels like, it was almost like politics.
Yes.
And second, we just mentioned Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange actually, this movie took place, but he is going to be one of the
Avengers.
One of the Avengers.
Yep.
That's the change that's happening in that film.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're seeing the new Avengers starting to unfold. I'm gonna throw out a wild card film, Jay. This is just one that I came upon and really loved it. Well, actually, one of my favorite films of the year. I'm not putting it in a particular category, but one that takes me back to the 1980s. The movie's called Sing Street, and explores relationships and explores music and the impact of MTV in the 1980s in the United Kingdom, and just a beautiful coming-of-age story using music as kind of that driving force. And so if you're out there and you have not seen Sing Street, check it out. Absolutely well worth checking out. It did get a Critics' Choice nomination for Best Original Song, but I'd recommend it not just for the soundtrack, but for the movie itself. That's called Sing Street. Any others you want to throw out there, Jay?
No, that's that. We pretty much covered everything, but
all right.
I heard that's a good film. I actually didn't see that myself. So.
Yeah, check it out. Jay, your website, blindsidereviews.com. You can also download previous shows that we've recorded. Just go to wgwg.org and look for the SoundCloud link, and you'll find Blindside there as well. Jay, as always, man, we really appreciate it. Hope you have a great 2017 ahead, and looking forward to more great films, and looking forward to talking to you more in the new year. Until next time, I'm Noel Manning. That's Jay Forey for WGWG and Blindside Movie Reviews. That's a wrap.